Good day, family, and all praises to our Most High Creator. Deuteronomy 10:12. And now, Israel, what does the Almighty, thy Creator, require of thee, but to fear the Almighty, thy Creator, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Almighty, thy Creator, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Family, it is required by you to fear our Almighty Creator. Thus saith the Most High. You can't fear him reading from the New Testament or the Book of Mormon or the Quran or any other book that doesn't say, Thus saith the Almighty Creator. Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Almighty is the beginning of knowledge, but the foolish despise wisdom and discipline. How are you going to receive knowledge? By fearing your Almighty Creator. Thus saith the Most High. Proverbs 14:26-27. In the fear of the Almighty, a man hath strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Almighty is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Fearing the Almighty Creator is your fountain of life. If you don't learn to fear him, then what does that leave you with? A death that you probably can't imagine. What do you receive by fearing him and walking in his ways? Life eternal. Psalms 34:8-10. The angel of the Almighty encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. O consider and see that the Almighty is good. Happy is the man that taketh refuge in him. O fear the Almighty, ye his righteous ones, for there is no want to them that fear him. Did you know that when you fear the Almighty, he protects you with his angel? That's just one of the many things you receive when you fear the Almighty. When you truly fear the Most High and try your hardest to walk in his ways, to walk righteously, he provides you with everything you need and more. Proverbs 3:7-8. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Almighty, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. If you don't learn about him and fear him, what do you think will eventually happen to you? Psalms 111:10. The fear of the Almighty is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do thereafter. His praise endureth forever. Proverbs 1:27-29. When your dread cometh as a storm, and your calamity cometh on as a whirlwind, when trouble and distress come upon you, then will they call me, but I will not answer. They will seek me earnestly, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Almighty. Don't be one of these people. Right now, there's calamity worldwide, plagues, new diseases, weather anomalies, violence from these psychotic Europeans. You name it, it's happening. We are hated by everyone on this planet. And what you see now is nothing compared to what's coming. The only safety and protection you have is the Almighty Creator. Thus saith the Almighty Creator. Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Almighty is to hate evil. Pride and arrogancy and the evil way and the froward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. Power is mine. You will not get wisdom or understanding until you crack open your book of remembrance and learn to fear. Hold on, family. I'm not doing this video over again. Sorry about that. I've been trying to get this video out and everything is happening. I'm going to start over right here. Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Almighty is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. Power is mine. You will not get wisdom or understanding until you crack open your book of remembrance and learn to fear your Creator, and only your Creator. Thus saith the Most High. Proverbs 9:10 and 11. The fear of the Almighty is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Almighty is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. Again, if you fear the Most High, you receive longevity. If you make it through what's coming, the longevity turns to immortality. You will only get that by reading your book of remembrance, learning about your Creator and what He's capable of, and doing what He tells you. What does He tell you? To fear Him, and to love Him, and to walk in His ways righteously. Proverbs 15:16. Better is little with the fear of the Almighty than great treasure and turmoil therewith. My income went from 6 figures to below poverty level, yet my family eat nutritiously and we never go hungry. Where we live, the winters can be brutal, yet we live in a 5th-wheel trailer and we've never been cold. We don't even worry about those things anymore because I and my family know that the Almighty Creator is taking care of us, and we are letting Him lead our lives. He fulfills our earthly needs and feeds our souls. Proverbs 19:23. The fear of the Almighty tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited by evil. If you don't fear the Most High, then you don't have His angel protecting you from evil. The Most High is your only hope to make it out of this wide-awake nightmare, but you have to learn about Him and fear Him to get His protection. You learn from Him only in your book of remembrance, the only book that contains your relative, Jeremiah, saith the Almighty Creator. Job 28:28. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Almighty, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. What's one of the many evils? The enemy's New Testament and their small g, JC/Yahweh blah. Psalms 33:8-14. Let all the earth fear the Almighty. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of Him. For He spoke, and it was. He commanded, and it stood. The Almighty bringeth the counsel of the nations to naught, to nothing. He maketh the thoughts of the peoples to be no effect. The counsel of the Almighty standeth forever, the thoughts of His heart to all generations. Happy is the nation whose Creator is the Almighty, the people whom He hath chosen for His own inheritance, us. The Almighty looketh from heaven. He beholdeth all the sons of men. From the place of His habitation He looketh intently upon all the inhabitants of the earth. This can't be talking about any current nation because our Almighty Creator isn't here yet. He hasn't came back. Our king hasn't been risen from us yet. These nations worship many small g's, and none of those g's are our almighty creator. They don't know our most high creator. They worship JC, aka Yahweh Blah, the big fat dude, the ugly chick with 8 arms, and many more. When our creator comes back and lifts our king from amongst us, we will be a nation again, like in the old day, or like in the days of old. And these evil people here now are going to pay unlike anything they could ever imagine. They will realize they have inherited lies from their fathers. We just have to fear our Most High Creator, read our book of remembrance, separate from our enemies, and wait this out till he comes back to rescue us. All praises to the Almighty Creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Have a beautiful day, family.